Alright, I'm just setting up the stream here. Hopefully it's working. Okay, so it seems to be connected. Let me just check on my phone just to make sure that it's actually working. And it looks like it is. Okay, so basically, the purpose of this particular stream is to show you how you can turn the micro ATX case that I showed prior and turn it into an NAS, or network attached storage. On the camera started following me for some reason. Okay, and basically I'm doing it because so many people ask about adding storage to the cases. If you've seen the previous streams, basically someone will always come in and ask, hey, how many hard drives can this thing fit? And the official answer before was 0 because I intended it to be used with NVMe. However, I can show you that with like a bonus file or attachment that I've attached to the printables link. If you check it out, you can print out some parts that allow you to basically hold 6 hard drives. And so in this stream, I'm going to show you how it's installed. I don't know if it's going to work because it was all in theory, but I did upload it and it is available for people to look at and try out. But I'm also going to try it out live in this stream. So let me go ahead and grab the prints. I printed them out. I haven't removed them from the print bed, so we're going to take it out together. And I printed these with the Tech X Max 3. And obviously my print bed's pretty large, so I was able to print all 4 at once. However, if you do have a smaller printer, these should fit on like a 180 by 180 print bed, and it should be available for everyone. And I've also been posting some stuff for my shorts about tuning this printer, and people have always been like mentioning things about a print bed adhesion. And just show you this. So this print I did like I think 2 days ago, and I haven't removed it, and it's still pretty much stuck to the print bed until obviously you flex it, and there they go. And what's nice is that basically the print bed adhesion for this particular printer and this filament has been no complaints on my end. It's been really good. And so those are the parts taken out for this particular little change to the case, and now we are going to put it together on Livestream. And the first thing we need to do is move this to the side, and we are now going to install some heat inserts on the parts themselves because they are going to be attached to the case, and they're going to be using heat inserts to make that happen. So let me go ahead and do the table view, and I'm going to try to make this stream fast to avoid long hours. Let's see if I can do it in less than like 30 minutes. Doubtful, but we'll try. So right now I'm heating up my soldering iron to, I believe I said to 280 degrees Celsius. And for this particular portion of this, I'm not going to be putting in the heat insert tip. I'll be using the stock little chisel one that goes on for normal soldering, because I will actually likely solder these pieces together. So the soldering iron apparently is heated up already, so we can start installing the heat inserts. I'm going to move these hard drives aside. And if you've watched my other streams, I did mention that I don't have a need for a network attached storage because I don't have any hard drives. Well, I guess I lied, because apparently I have like 3 of these. Or yeah, I have 3 of these hard drives. They're like super old too. They're like IDE. This one in my hand is a serial ATA, but even this one is also IDE. And I swear I had another one, but it might be lost somewhere. Or maybe I took it apart to take the magnets out or something. Who knows? But either way, let's get these heat inserts in. And so we've got 8 to install. And let's go ahead and do that now. so I got these heat inserts here, and actually I wonder if I could just press them in. Yeah, I'll just press them in by hand like that. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more too. All right, okay, so I just pressed them in by hand, and then I'm going to take my soldering iron that's again set to 280 degrees Celsius. I'm doing this for PETG, so I think that's a pretty good temperature. And now I'm just going to press the soldering iron to the heat insert, and it should slide right on in. All right, so there's the first one. And again, because of the sizing of these heat inserts, I can just manually press it in for now by hand, and then do the rest with the soldering iron. Ooh, that one actually came in a little too easily. Oh, it's a different size. It's a different, maybe it's hard to see, but they're actually different heat inserts. Like you can see, sorry, it's like digital zoom on your end, but there's like, there's ridges on this one, while this one is a smooth barrel type. So I'm sure it'll be fine though. And it's not like I'm going to be, I don't have enough hard drives to load up the carriage tray for the hard drives anyways, so let's just go ahead and roll with it. I suppose I could take it out, but we're trying to be fast. All right, so 3 done on that part. And I hope it's clear that you're supposed to put heat inserts in here, because I don't think they need directions. And there's really not much holes to get it wrong. Well, I guess there are holes, but they shouldn't, it shouldn't be confusing. All right, so that heat insert's in. Now we got 4 more to go. I'm just gonna put these in manually. Whoops. Keep that away. Burn myself. For this stream, I'm gonna try not to drop anything and not to hurt myself. Those are the goals for this stream. Because I think the part should work, but I can't guarantee me not getting hurt or dropping something. Because last time I dropped something, it was really loud, and one of my viewers, they were wearing earbuds, and apparently it was like deafening. So I'll be very mindful of that. And I'm not sure if the audio, I did a recording and listened to it, so I think it sounds okay, but if there is something off about it, let me know, and I can maybe like boost stuff or even lower volume. And let me see, yeah. So I got 1 more to go here. And I hope my chat's actually working, because last time I had to restart it. Maybe I should, oh no, there it is. So John Bernard DeLeon wrote, maybe get a giant table mat. Yeah, that would be good, I think. But I also like this table, like how it's bare. But I think, yeah, having a large table mat would probably be helpful. That way I can like drop the soldering iron, and also like, I'll show you what's happening on my actual table. Maybe you can't see, excuse me. But I have like my screws here. I know some mats have like little trays and stuff, so I think that'd be useful. But yeah, volume is perfect from Life and Hobbies videos. Awesome, thank you. All right, so we've got the heat inserts in. I'm gonna leave this soldering iron running because I will likely melt some plastic together. But in the meantime, I do need to take apart this PC so that I can show you how it's installed. Now, when I included this change for the PC, I had originally thought it would be best to do it with ITX motherboards, but I believe it should be okay with just using micro ATX as well. But you will basically lose all the expansion slots for the motherboard, so that includes like 2-slot GPUs too. And then also, depending on how your particular motherboard is laid out, it may just not allow you to use your full-size PCI Express slots anymore. But I'll show it soon, and it'll make more sense when what I'm talking about. Cool. So there's the side panel off, and so right now we have this PC configured with the large air cooler, ATX power supply, and a full-size GPU. And the goal is to basically remove some of those parts to make it compatible being a network attached storage. So now I'm removing the top panel here. And did I zip tie it somewhere? I hope I didn't. I may have actually. And if I did, that's not going to be good. Oh man, I did zip tie it to something. So let me go ahead and remove the other side panel too. And then John Bernard wrote, like a mouse pad, but I like the fresh tabletop. Yeah, I like the fresh tabletop too. And luckily the finish on this is pretty easy to repair. So I mean, I have already damaged it. But maybe a table mat, yeah, like a cloth mat, like a mouse mat might be a good idea. I think I actually might have one. I'd have to look for it. And it's fairly large. I remember I used it before. But one thing is, I think because I use a soldering iron, I probably prefer like a silicone mat, because if I do drop the soldering iron on it, I'd rather like the silicone can take the heat. I think it could take up to like 500 degrees Celsius. But this surface, along with the surface of like a cloth mouse mat, probably won't survive that. Okay, so got this. Oh man, well, there goes my goal of not dropping anything because I just lost some screws. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna put the side panel to the side there. And basically what I need to get to is, yeah, so I guess I have this, I made a little, actually, where can I get to that? I had these extra mounts that weren't being used by my smaller micro-ATX motherboard, and so I ended up like creating a little loop just to hold the cables in place. And I'll probably zoom in if I can. Let's see what the table view looks like. Oh no, John Bernard wrote, I heard the drop. It might be loud for anyone wearing in-ear earphones. I do apologize. Sorry about that. Honestly, I think it might be my audio settings. I know there's like it might have automatic gain control on it, and so I need to fiddle with it. But I do apologize for that. Okay, so I can zoom in for this. Let me show you what I did. Oh, you can't really see. Maybe I have to zoom in more. Okay, so basically, I was doing a lot of testing. So you can see this is one of the tuning exercises for the printer, where like you can see like numbers printed on there, but basically there was like a bunch of lines that printed out. But I had these extra, and they're really thin and flexible, so I ended up just like cutting it into a little strip and putting 2 holes in it. And what that allowed me to do was basically like line up the holes like so, and then you have like a little loop, and then I'm able to just basically place it on the PC and have it hold cables if I want to. So that's that. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove these fans. Let me go ahead and turn it around for you. So I have this like fan controller here that I was using to power everything, and it's now coming off. This is what controlled like the RPM of the fans up top. All right, so power fan controller is gone, and I should be able to remove the fans now. Because with this particular setup, you might need to like consider it, but basically you won't have any fans on the top of the case anymore. So I'm now going to remove the graphics card, and it should just come off like so. I'm actually looking at my case right now, and now I'm even wondering, will this fit in my smaller micro ATX case? I may have to show it to you using ITX, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, so now the video card should be, I should be able to remove it now. Turn it towards y'all. Okay. And then, so normally you remove the power cables before you remove the video card, but because my cable management was so exact and I had tied down, I had used zip ties to anchor some of the cables, I actually can't take off the video card. Sorry, I can't remove the power cables until I remove the video card, but video card is gone. Alright, so now I'm going to do a test fit. Actually, no, maybe I don't need to do the test fit yet. Let me go ahead and take this out though. This is just the fan controller power cable, and it doesn't need to be in there anymore. Let's put that over here. Let me just place this here. So now I'm going to remove the fans from the top of the case. And again, you'll notice that it has different patterns because I was tuning my printer to find out like what pattern worked best. And personally, so this is like 25%, and this is the stock 15%. And if you are going to print it, I'd probably suggest just going with the 15% because it's just there's more air, and it's still pretty dense that there's still like structure to it. And obviously, I think it'll be good enough to let air through too. But I think you can also get away with the 25% if you really want to. It does look a little nicer in my opinion. But I'm saying that because obviously when I tested the case for thermals, the components I have on here aren't the most powerful, and so it probably won't like reflect what you might have at home, especially if you have fast, like a really fast video card or processor. And I think yeah, so I also kind of like, not really clickbait, but I did mention that this case was compatible with the RTX 5090, because it technically is, because the RTX 5090 is smaller than the RTX 4090, and when I did the dimensions for this case, I do have like a mock-up of a 4090, even though I don't own one, and so theoretically it should fit in there, and the RTX 5090 is smaller, so it should work, but based on the testing I've seen online about the video card, you might appreciate like active cooling for the case, because I think it'll perform pretty well for an open bench system with the way the RTX 5090 cooling solution is. But in this situation, basically what'll happen is the video card would pull air in from the top and then disperse it down, and it'll just dump it right onto your CPU heatsink. So there is a high chance that you will increase the temperatures of your CPU. And if you have a hot running CPU, that might be trouble. Okay, so I should have this out already, but it's fighting me. Okay, alright, so top panel is free from the fans. And I'm going to put these fans to the side. And I did keep the soldering iron on, because this particular part I haven't done the plastic welding to yet. But I think I'm going to do a little bit now. I didn't do it before because I wasn't sure if I wanted to reprint these parts to have them match. But I think, I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So I'm just going to weld it. Well, maybe I don't need to. Maybe I won't. No, maybe I won't. I won't do that. Okay, so, but I do need to melt, I think, these cages together though. So, but before I do that, I'm going to do a dry fit with them to make sure that they are actually working. And to do that, basically, there's like two different parts. They're just mirrors of each other. And essentially, like one side will have a long one side will have a short one. And the way they go together is basically, you'll notice that there's like a flat part and then another flat part. And because there's like protrusions of where the heat inserts are, and that's pretty much like how they go together. Actually, I don't even know if these will even go together. We'll find out. Maybe I don't need to weld them. So this is a tighter fit. So it's really strange. Like the panels. Give me 1 second here. So I believe I reprinted these panels, and no, it was actually these ones. So the side panels I printed, and I printed them with the exact same filament as this with the same settings, and for some reason the side panel can come off pretty easily, but these ones are actually pretty tight. Like they're as tight as the ones I had over here. So I don't know. There's just so much inconsistencies with the printer, but it also could be just the geometry of the print, like because there's like no top or bottom layer. So this is just one big like infill. That's why it looks like this. Maybe that's why it's allowing it to be more like stable or something, but yeah, I don't know why this is fitting so well while my panels didn't, but whatever. That's just the 3D printing. And then here's the other part here. So again, all you're doing is just lining up to make sure that you have the flat side and the flat side together, and then just press them in together. And again, you should be able to print these out on a smaller printer. So if you have a small printer, this should still work for you. Okay, so yeah, so essentially this is the hard drive carriage, and the way I envision it to work is that you'll see a bunch of holes over here. So there's like 3 holes here, 3 holes here, 3 holes here, and another 3. And the theory is that this should hold 6 of these 3.5-inch hard drives. But that's just the theory, obviously. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering, like maybe someone can chime in if they actually do use network attached storage, but like is heat a huge factor for you? Because like again, my storage right now is like either NVMe or I do have like a USB external drive. However, I don't really notice any heat issues, but that could be very different when you're actually in an actual PC. Okay, so just to visualize, basically, when you're installing these, you will see that there's like a, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more on here, but it might be hard to see, but it does say out on here. So when you see that, basically it means that this part is out, and then there should be so there's also a little arrow here. You can't really see it because how sparse my infill was, but there's also an arrow to show you where the front is. So like just make sure that this is out and the arrow is facing the appropriate direction, which is that away, so to the front. And the idea is that it will basically rest inside the PC and just hang from the top panel. So yeah, it's better to show you. And then Spiggy Tech wrote, keep air gaps and it should not sag. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. So basically Spiggy Tech, there's obviously some air gaps in the front, absolutely nothing in the back. So that's just like free air. And then, but I guess there is an issue of like how much air gets through on this top panel. But yeah, I'm hoping it works out fine. And if anyone mentions that like their hard drives are overheating, like I don't see how I can't just maybe make some brackets that attach to the maker beam rail so that we can then attach like a internal fan or something just to get more air moving. It also could be that maybe I like flip this fan up here so it draws air up or something. I think there's ways around it. Unless you live in like a really hot climate, maybe it won't even be an issue at all. All right, so top panel goes on like so. And knowing that this is the front, let me see about situating these onto the top panel. So again, you'll notice that there's 4 mounting holes here, and they should correspond with the 2 fan mounts on here, which also have 4 holes on each side. So again, when you are installing this, you want this to be out, meaning like towards away from the inside of the case. So this will be like that, and then this one will be like this. I really hope the holes line up, but we'll find out right now. So let me go ahead and just move this out of the way so I can better work with the parts. And let's see, should go on like that. Now, I'm not sure if my screws will work. Let's find out. Okay, so these 2 line up there, and I hope this goes through. Oh, it should work. Okay, cool. Yeah, so again, I'm having like, I should have probably measured what screws I had to make sure they worked, but it looks like it'll work. So I'm putting one in right now. Oh, so this is the, if you just caught this right now, I actually put in a different heat insert that didn't install properly. So let me go ahead and put a better one in. And of course I lost the screw. Give me a second. Okay, found the screw. Yeah, so it's hard to see. But this is like the trouble with buying like heat inserts sometimes is that even though they're the same spec, sometimes they'll have like different sizes because they're like just measured differently. But yeah, these 2 are actually different, and I installed this one. You can tell it's smaller, and basically it actually didn't quite work. So let me go ahead and install the proper one right now, and it's in this hole here. Okay, so let me go ahead and press this in just to hold it in place. And luckily I still have my soldering iron on, and I should be able to just melt the proper heat insert in this time. But I would laugh if like they all pulled out, because that would be really bad, because that would mean that you're basically like jeopardizing your data by installing it in an improper mount. But it's not the case, I promise you. Just make sure you install the right heat inserts that I linked in the description. Okay, so where was I? So this is the front, and I know that this is supposed to be out, and then the front is here, so it lines up that way. Okay, let's try this again. Let me just hold this and place this in here. Always smart to keep those separate in your inventory. So normally I try to, but I guess maybe I just had like another brain fart and just left it on there, or just like left the wrong ones in. But yeah, that's why, you know, you'll get the parts dropping and parts breaking on this stream. But luckily, these were printed in different parts. So basically, the 2 top panels were printed using a 0.4 nozzle. It definitely prints out differently. This one was printed with a 0.6 nozzle, but luckily the tolerances are good enough that everything's kind of lining up. So it's hard to see on camera, but the mounting holes all line up for now. So obviously I can just show that by installing the screws. That's a different screw too. Oh, wait, where's this from? Oh, it must have been from when I took apart the PC. Just right now. Didn't take that into account. And to your point, Spiggy Tech, I probably should have separated what I planned on installing versus what I uninstalled, but that's what you get. And now we've got 3 of the 4 screws on that one side installed. And you also notice that I think I mentioned in the beginning that I didn't solder these 2 top panels in together. But by installing fans along with this bracket, you're actually joining the pieces together again, because the front fan has mounts on this one panel, and it has its other mount on the other panel. And so a single fan could technically hold this thing together. And the same thing here. So basically, we've got this bracket attaching these 2 parts together. Let me go ahead now and install this other piece. And so it's again, so this is the front, because it has like a larger piece here, and then this should show you like which side is out by this. There's lettering in here and a little arrow, but you'll see it in the CAD when you actually you could even if you're by your PC now, you can check out the file. There should be like a folder which says like bonus, and that's where you'll find the hard drive brackets. And I guess it's all theoretical, so like we're gonna find out together whether or not my measurements and whatnot were correct, and hopefully they were, because this will be kind of embarrassing if it doesn't work. But it won't be the first time we see some embarrassment on this channel. If you watch my other streams, like we've literally had to like bust out. Actually, one time we used a soldering iron to like cut a PC open because it needed to. Okay, so basically this is the hard drive bracket, and so without the hard drives, I think it's pretty straightforward that they install this way. So I'm not sure if this will clear the cables I have. We'll find out soon enough, but it should just go in like so. So it looks like it will rest a little on the cables there. So again, if you're going to be building this case, I would definitely suggest going with a modular power supply. It'll just make your life so much easier. But yeah, so essentially that's the carriage up there. And let me go ahead and install the 3 hard drives that I do have that I didn't know I had. But it's good to know that I have them. I don't even know if they even work. So maybe I'm speaking too soon. Okay, so now I want to install the hard drives. Okay, and the way I thought about it was that obviously if you've never used a hard drive like this, there might be people here watching who've only been using NVMe, but you do have connectors outside here on one side, and so my idea was that you would have it so that the connectors would always kind of point out and never in, and that way you can have access to the cables. And so the hard drive should fit in. Okay, they do fit here. So let me go and screw them in, and hopefully I have the screw sizes correct, and it looks like I do. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, I probably should, let me see if I can zoom in. I should make the mounting holes not a real circle, but an actual slot. That way you can kind of have some wiggle room when you're installing this. So I'll probably update that in the CAD like after this stream. But I mean, you know, you're seeing it now. It's obviously working. I really hope I have that installed properly, but we're going to find out soon enough. Okay, so that's one side done. And now we're going to have this other side. And hopefully they line up. You also notice that I only put 2 mounting holes per hard drive on each side, when there is actually a 3rd mounting hole. I think it should be okay, but if you think I should add in a 3rd hole, let me know. But for now, I'm sticking with just the 4 mounting holes for the hard drive. Now I don't have an NAS, and so if you have one and you've realized that you need to install those, let me know. And let's see, I'm just kind of visually checking this out, but so far you can kind of see what's happening here. Let's see. John Bernard Deleon says, more holes are better, with a little double face emoji. You're absolutely right. The more holes, the merrier. So we got to have more holes. And then Draw says, in NAS mode, I thought you said you weren't going to do it. So Draw, I think you've come to learn that like I'm clumsy, I forget things, and I guess I'm a liar because here we are making it in NAS mode. And so I think I told you last time that I didn't have any hard drives, and then being the hoarder that I am, I found a bunch of like 3.5 hard drives that I guess I kept around maybe to like get their magnets out. So if you've ever taken apart a hard drive, they have some really cool magnets inside them. And so yeah, so now I have the geometry and I'm able to test whether or not this works. And so here we are with a network attached storage that I said I would never do, but now we're doing it. Now I guess at the same time too, I wouldn't really say like it is just in mode. It's not like the case itself was not designed around it, obviously. But it's just nice to have the option. So I hope people appreciate that. And then John Bernard DeLeon says, JK, I'm not joking. More holes the merrier. So we're going to get these installed now. I think it's pretty self-explanatory of how these are going to go in. Now I wish I had, so actually this might be a good thing. So basically I'll show it now with the bottom cages fully filled. So again, I don't have 6 hard drives to show this working. But essentially, again, the front has a larger like gap between the mounting hole and the edge. And you'll even see that like because the hard drive does protrude a little bit past. And okay, so I definitely might need to use a smaller motherboard. So if you look at the description in the printables, I think I did say it has to be micro or ITX, but it looks like it's fitting. So my main concern really is on the motherboard side, you're gonna have a bunch of like in and out ports for like the reset or the power button, and so depending on how your motherboard is and depending how thick your cables are for those power buttons and the reset buttons, it may not fit. But it looks like it's fitting with mine, with some room to spare. It's hard to see on camera. I don't even know if I can even show it on camera, but I have like maybe like 3 millimeters away from the connector. But the thing is, like some motherboards have like you'll have the case with the. It's probably better to show this way. So like on your case, you'll have, and I said I could do this in 30 minutes, and I lied, so it's not 30 minutes. So the case has these connectors, and some cases actually come with like a little separate connector that houses all of these and combines them into one. That way when you're plugging it in, it's easier. And so that actually does increase the height of the overall connector. But I've been lucky that these ones fit. So I don't know, but your mileage might vary because again, I think I did say that this should technically only work with ITX, but here it is working with micro ATX. And I think it's pretty clear how that works. We could technically just end the stream right now because this is like, I think this proves it. There should be more than enough space for connectors to go in on both the front and the back. You will likely need to use like the right angle connectors. I don't think, maybe in the front you'll have space for the straight serial ATA connectors for power and the cable itself. So for instance, yeah, so this is a straight serial ATA cable. And of course this is IDE on this side. But okay, so I think, so look, even if you bend this, I do have some right angle versions of this. Give me like 30 seconds, I will grab it. I tried being super quiet so I don't drop anything and it becomes super loud, but basically some cables for hard drives look like this. So this will definitely like Yeah, stuff just dropped. This will work just fine for this because I think even the straight one should work for the front connection. However, in the back, not that it matters because there's literally nothing stopping it from the back. But let's see. Yeah, so basically like a right angle should work over here. And let's see, John Bernard says, "Damn, that looks so clean." Thanks, John. We're appreciating that. And then Draw says, "I mean, that's awesome, to be honest. You trade GPU support for hard drives, basically." Correct, yeah. So one thing though is, I did mention it in the beginning, but technically if you have like a single slot GPU, you should be able to use it with like ITX and still have your GPU. But I did leave, because I could have dropped it down more to give it more like space between the hard drives. But I did keep it pretty compact because I did want to have at least one slot available. So I think, let me change the angle here really quick. I'm trying to show you what I mean. So this motherboard in particular here, you'll notice that it only has a 1X slot right over here. And then the 16 is actually behind the GPU. Now, that's micro ATX, so they have the freedom to kind of change where that large full 16X slot is. This is a 1X. Where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to look at the camera. So yeah, this is a 1X, and so the 16X is like right above it, behind the hard drive. And but with an ITX, this slot will always be the PCI Express 16X, and so if you do want to use like expansion cards for like more hard drive space, usually the cards should fit into there. And then when you do that, you can still use the stock, like the GPU bracket, so that it can hold whatever expansion card you're installing on there. Because I know that sometimes people use like an actual like controller card for their hard drives, and that should do it. And so we know that the bottom row fits, so let me go ahead and remove it, and then maybe I can install all three into like one side just to show you that it like stacks properly. And then right now I'm just trying to find out how to snap this thing out. Maybe the snap's working a little too well right now. Okay, cool. So we're going to put that down for now. And then John Bernard wrote 25. So did I go over 30 seconds? Okay, so Megan asks, what is the smallest case that can hold a 2.5-inch drive? So Megan, if you haven't seen the other stream, what I can do is just turn this around. So for this particular print, if you look at the files that I linked in the description, I did create like a little bracket over here that can hold the 2.5-inch hard drive. And that bracket just attaches to the, excuse me, I'm coughing, the MakerBeam rail. And so if you want more, you could technically put another hard drive up here. Technically, you could even put it, yeah, so I guess over here. And then if you really wanted to and be super spicy, you could even put them all over here. So I guess it depends on how many you want to put, but you could technically like line up this entire rail with, oh, sorry. Okay, so John DeLeon wrote, nope, super fast. I was counting down. Okay, cool. I made it in 30 seconds. Megan wrote, okay, so my bad. I meant 3.5-inch. So yeah, so Megan, so this particular case will hold 6. Theoretically, we're gonna find out if that's actually true right now. And so what I'm gonna do is, we know that the bottom cages work now, and so we've kind of proved that. And so let's go ahead and stack them all to just one side just to show all three, because we know that this, like, stacking the hard drives on this end means that like it can't go any further or out. And so we've already proven that like these are the extents of the bay. So let's go ahead and remove this one. Actually, which side do we want? Maybe we want, what do we want? Do we want the front or the back? Let's have a vote. And I won't continue until it's answered. So do we want to stack the hard drives at the front of the case or the back of the case? we can't do. Well, I guess we can do both. Just okay. What do you want to do first? You said both. Well, do you want to do front or back first? I usually like starting from the front, but we'll see what else people say. And then you can like go to the back and then go back to the front. Oh, for the case. Yeah, we're talking about the case. I don't know what you're talking about. Do we want a seat in the front or the back? Let's see. I doubt a NUC PC exists that can hold a 3.5-inch drive. Small form factor, probably. I swear I've seen like a case for NUC that uses that. Because I think, let me think. I don't need 30 seconds this time. So this is not a NUC. It's STX. And, you know, basically the STX motherboard stops at where this video card is. Now, I guess if you don't have the video card, yeah, I mean, like technically, wait, will it fit? I think it will. No way. Okay, so you know what? Maybe I can put a little bracket in here. So there you go. We could do like an APU and have it work with maybe, we can do two in here. We can do two 3.5 hard drives inside an APU build. And maybe that helps answer your question, Black Tornado. And then drew or draw back first. Okay, we're starting with the back. On a personal note, I find it's more fun starting from the back because like it's a lot of pressure. And then, wait, no, we were doing the back. Why am I taking the back off? We're doing the back first. And then, anyways, I don't know what I was talking about anymore. So let's see. John Bernard de Leon says, are there any heat issues going front or back? I think theoretically putting the hard drives, for this particular setup, I think if we put the hard drives all in the front, one could argue that the heat emitting from the power supply could warm up the hard drives. So I guess you could say that, yes, for this particular case, because it's only relying on like passive air cooling, it should technically be cooler being in the back, because being in the back would also mean that you are getting some of like the residual air from the CPU cooler like dumping on the top of the hard drive. So that's a good question. You've got good questions and good suggestions. All right, so we're taking the front out. We're starting in the back as Drew or draw requested, and we'll go from there. Drew or draw, were you the one who was asking for network attached storage? Because I swear that gets brought up like all the time, and so hopefully this kind of satiates a little bit of that. Okay, so we're gonna put this one at the very top. You know, I think I screwed up already. Wait, did I really screw that up? Maybe I didn't. Let's find out. Oh, I didn't. Okay, so I thought like I may have forgotten the clearance for the heat inserts, but I was wrong. So they're still clear. That actually worried me for a second. Like I got a little like, you probably can't tell on the camera too well, but I'm like blushing right now because I'm just like I got super flustered there. Just like my body getting ready for the embarrassment of failing, just like my other streams. And then Draw says, "Yeah, I was." Okay, cool. So hopefully, you know, like that makes you happy, right? Like you got something you requested from the YouTuber who normally doesn't take requests. Well, I guess I gotta ask you then. Like, do you think like are you using more than 6 hard drives for your network attached storage right now? Because I think 6 is a pretty good number, because you can do RAID 0 and 1 with 6, right? It's been, I mean, honestly, I've only done RAID once, and actually, funny enough, I think this particular hard drive with the serial ATA, it's the I can't see the model number anymore, but I think it was like it was a Seagate. They were pretty popular back then. It was the 7200.10, and I did have two of them, and I ran them in RAID for like a second, and I tried out both RAID 0 and RAID 1, but I just didn't end up keeping it. I forgot why. I think maybe around that time, serial ATA solid states came out, and at that point it was like, no, forget the RAID, forget that. Let's just go with solid state. Because even back then, like the solid state drives didn't have like cache or DRAM on them, but they still like destroyed. Oh no, hold on. Okay, so you are going to witness a fail today. And so Draw wrote, no, not really. 4 is enough for me, honestly. Which is really good because it looks like 3 stacked is not going to work on this. I guess maybe my measurements for the hard drive were just wrong because it looks like they're just different. Like, I mean, it's slid in, but now there's like actual like components that are hitting. What is it hitting on? Because I don't know, it's hard to see, but like this cage is like shaped funny, like it has little ridges. But I thought maybe I could account for that in the CAD, but maybe I didn't. But give me a second here. Maybe I just need to loosen it up to kind of like give them some wiggle room. But I think we've also just shown that maybe there's just not enough gaps to have all 4 or sorry, all 3 on one side. So maybe it is just 4. Because I don't think you want these hard drives that close together. And I don't think I want to drop it. I don't want to make any more space in between them because then we would lose like all hope of using expansion slots on the motherboard, even for ITX. And I did want to keep that at least. But right now, something is hitting. So like the first portion of the hard drive will go in and then it just stops. Oh, I see it actually. It's like it's this rail. Like there's like a give me a second here. Not that it should make a difference, I don't think, but if you'll notice that where the hard drive sits, there's like this little lip right over here. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing you. So there's like a lip right over here, and that's what's hitting. Now I'm wondering if that's going to be the case for all my hard drives. It's a bummer. Well, I mean, you just witnessed another fail. And then Draw wrote 6 all near like this is probably not great for the drives, considering they will vibrate a bit. Yeah. So I think even one single drive will vibrate quite a bit. I mean, they're moving platters. Okay, so I did loosen it up. Let's see if I can maybe I'll loosen up a little bit more. These are tapered screws, so maybe the like loosening them up won't really give me that much playroom anyways. But let's try anyways. But I mean, I do have like, it's hard to see. Actually, you can kind of see, you saw it. So there is like a gap between the top panel and the top hard drive. And so, I mean, if I can give myself like maybe 2 millimeters, I can do it. But again, to the point of Drew and then the other one I brought up as well, it's like, is it really good for the hard drive to be stacked that close? And I don't think so. So that's still not fitting in. I'm wondering, like, is it just a combination of hard drives that I have? But maybe, no, maybe we just call that a fail and just say, hey, like, this YouTuber is a liar and it actually only sits 4. Because I think that's the reality of it. Man, there's like these like gashes on this one particular hard drive. I wonder what was like the story behind that. Okay, so I think what we've learned is that as is, unless I go into the CAD and throw in like a few more millimeters or get rid of the gap in between the top and the bottom, or sorry, the top panel and the hard drive, we don't have space. We don't have proper clearance for all 6 to be installed, which is a bummer. Because you know, actually, now that I think about it, I can't I actually, there is space in between the top hard drive and the top panel because um, I needed those to clear where the heat inserts are. So I don't even have that space to do it. So yeah. Let's see. Put problematic drive on the bottom. Okay, let's try that. So the problematic drive was this one. So let's take off the very bottom one. That's a good suggestion, Spiggy. And by the way, if you don't know who Spiggy Tech is, he also creates some pretty awesome 3D printed cases. And so you need to, I hope you have your socials linked on your YouTube. I don't know if you have all your cases on your YouTube, but if you're just watching and you want to check out some other 3D printed cases, check out Spiggy Tech because he's got some pretty cool cases out there. Definitely recommend trying them out. And I think most of them are free too, right, Spiggy Tech? But I could be wrong, so I don't want to like do false advertising for you. Okay, so right now I'm trying to put in the bottom, the hard drive that was in the bottom, now in the middle. And it looks like it will work. Let me just see if I can even screw it in. But either way, I don't think I would recommend it in its current form because they are like almost touching. And I know that like I wasn't concerned about heat before, but with them touching with no air gap in between them, I think we're definitely going to be pushing our luck. And that might, so actually even now, I don't think it's the hard drive. I think it really is my design because I can't tighten those screws in all the way. I mean, it is really just like another like 0.5 millimeter. I suppose so right now, so if you've been watching like the screws go in. So these are 6x32 screws. And they do go in, but they're kind of tight. And so what I could technically do is just like enlarge the hole a little bit more, and that could technically give us the clearance that we need. But again, to the point, I don't know if I would suggest it because the hard drives are literally like sandwiched together. What I could do is just like put them together just to show you, and then we'll just like call it there. Because yeah, I don't know if I want to tell people to install 6 hard drives in this thing because it's obviously kind of a lie. And I'm sure you guys can only handle so many lies from me. But I think this was a good lie, right? Like I said I would never build an NAS, and then I kind of did. And so I think some people can benefit from it, hopefully. And then so Spiggy Tech wrote, Spiggy Tech on printables. Yes, if you go to the printables website where I also post my work, you can search up Spiggy Tech and you'll see all these cool cases on there too. And definitely give them a check because I think he covers some cases that have been requested from me, but I just never did. And so definitely check out his work. And so right now, so we've got 3 hard drives installed here. But the screws aren't going in all the way because they're just like way too jam-packed. However, I mean, I don't know. I think more people can speak to it better than I can. But in terms of like stacking the hard drives together this close, I don't know if it's like suggested. I don't think it is. Yeah, that's not happening. All right, so the liar YouTuber, it's only 4. It's only 4. Draw wrote, we're going to convert you to an NAS case creator from now on. No, we aren't doing that. But who knows, maybe like, because right now, I guess like, back then I always had a lot of hard drives, but a lot of my stuff is like in the cloud. And a lot of the stuff I have too is kind of just like, if I lost it, I don't know if I'd cry that much. Like, you know, honestly, like when I was doing my videos and then editing them, I think that would be that I probably would have eventually needed a network attached storage, but I haven't been editing my videos. Obviously, I've just been doing these live streams. I find them more fun, and so now like there's even like less cause for me to want a network attached storage. But I mean, if somebody wants to like sponsor these videos and give me like 10 hard drives or whatever, then yeah, like I'll do it. I mean, I don't know if I'll use it, but I think that'd be kind of interesting. But again, I think I posted on the community tab about like someone else's 3D printed case for NAS, and you really can't go wrong with the one I posted on there. Unless, so one thing about that one I posted, I think it's only meant for ITX. And obviously with this particular case, you can use micro ATX and a large power supply. I think that other case that I linked still used SFX, which is the smaller power supplies, and so it might not be for everyone. I think one of the things I aimed for this particular case was like to answer that question of like, hey, I have micro ATX, I have a full-size power supply, full-size GPU, and a large air cooler. I don't like water cooling. What case can I use? And I think this particular case answers all that. So aesthetically, with all the paneling, I'm not the biggest fan, but in terms of the functionality, I'm pretty happy with where it landed. Now, I guess you do have to like get maker beams to make it happen, but honestly, the maker beams are cool. Like you should just, if you're a tinkerer, like if you have a 3D printer and you're already like doing mods to your PC, having the maker beams is actually pretty cool because you can do like some prototyping with it too. Hold on. Okay, I was wondering where the mount was. I'm like, wait, did I screw up that bad that I didn't put an actual mount on here? But I was like, but I thought I showed this working a while ago. I was wrong. It was there. And then normally I save all my previews for my Patreons, but somewhere in this scene that you're looking at right now is one of the future cases, but we won't talk about that as much. Okay, so let's see. Swiggy Tech wrote, easy fix, use gaskets for the holes. It'll give plus minus 1.5 millimeters of tolerance per hole. Use gaskets, use gaskets. Use gaskets. Like, are you talking about like those little like, I know in the past I used to use like little rubber things I would put in to like hold the hard drive, but I don't know what gaskets. Hard drive gas. Let's see. Drew wrote, yeah, I saw it, but as I said in the other stream, basically 99% of 3D printed NAS cases are for ITX and non-ATX PSU. Okay, cool. So yeah, I hope that people appreciate being able to use full-size power supply and micro ATX. So let me go ahead and just put this thing back in just to show you that the 4-bay the 4-bay NAS works as such. I don't think I need to install the power connectors because obviously IDE will. Do I have IDE down here? I don't think I do. No, I don't. But I mean, let me see. Just want to give you an example of the power though. So I've already shown you the right angle serial ATA power connector, but like for instance on a power supply, you have straight. So you'll have these like straight serial ATA power connectors, and obviously that won't work for the rear because there's like very little space. Actually, I'm lying. It'll work because there's nothing in there, so there's nothing behind it, and so like both air and your cables can go right through. So maybe that's just, but maybe in the back it matters more. But essentially, I had thought of, wait, why did it just change? I had thought of using the right angle for the actual connection of the hard drives. And let's put this away. All right. And then I don't know what else to show. We got the 4-bay, not the 6-bay. This is the 4-bay, so this should get that working. All right, let's see. And then Speedy Tech, you wrote these hard drive gaskets. So maybe the links aren't working in the chat. Maybe I have that like disabled, but maybe I'll put up a link later on about it. But I think for now, what I'll do is let me go ahead and revise those files that I uploaded to printables and make the holes a little bit bigger, because I think I think it should be fine. Do I have a 1x slot? Give me... All right, John Bernard DeLeon, count me down. 1 minute. 1 minute. I'm going to try to grab another hard video card. Almost back. I'm almost back. All right, I'm back. And I think this was actually a fail example, but I think we can kind of get an idea. So basically, this is a one slot video card. Let's see. These gaskets, Livestream. Oh yeah, it is a Livestream. The moment I'm gone, I should probably just have like a waiting lobby with just the lamp on there. And then John Bernard wrote 50. So yeah, I guess I made it in 1 minute. So super fast. So basically, I wish, so if you've seen my shorts, I actually did a short about converting this into a normal high slot. Oh gosh, give me 1 second here. So it converted this, this used to be like a normal, like pretty large slot, and I did it again. I needed to turn off that like automatic zoom, but now it's shorter, so it won't be the best example because we can't actually install it. We can't even install this because there's a 16 slot in the 1X, but the idea was that I designed it so that the hard drives can still be used while a 1X slot was installed. And so right now, it looks like I may have lied about that too. Man, this is like fail nation. But you know, okay, so you know what? I do have to go in there, so not only will I increase the size of the mounting holes, but I'm also just gonna make it a 4 mount, not even considering the 6 at all. Hopefully that doesn't upset anyone. I think Amber up above asked about that, so Amber and Draw, it's only gonna be 4 slots, so don't hope for 6. And then but what it will enable you to use like an expansion card on the very top, preferably 1X, because again, depending on your motherboard, it may not have the 16X where you want it to be. But that's kind of it. So I need to change the description. It's only a 4X, but we do now have the ability to convert this particular case into a network attached storage. And so hopefully that satisfies Draw, and maybe he'll tone down on asking for more NASs, because again, like I have the hard drives. These are probably all broken. I know I dropped one of these too, and so yeah, I have no use for them at the moment until I get more hard drives or need more storage. But as is, that is the case and its bonus features. And so if there are no other questions or comments, we can end it just 30 minutes longer than I anticipated. And I do appreciate everyone staying for these long streams. I find them fun. Like basically, I would be doing this on my own anyways, and so why not watch it also? I do appreciate everyone being here. Now I'm gonna give it like another 30 seconds if anybody wants to ask a question or make some comments, but I will let everyone get on their way. It's Friday for me here. I don't know what day it is for everyone else. I know that we've had people watching from different countries and all around the world, but for me it is Friday, and so my wife should be home like any moment, and I'm probably gonna go take out for dinner or something. And I just don't know what to eat though. We've been eating really well this whole week, and so it's hard to decide what to give ourselves as a treat on these Fridays sometimes. Yeah, so right now my clock says 4:09. When I see 4:10, then we'll call it good. So Speaky Tech wrote fast food fury, and then John Bernard DeLeon wrote in and out. Yeah, Draw. See you next time. Yeah, maybe it is a burger, because we had ribeyes yesterday, so maybe it's like it's got to be something maybe not as like good, quote unquote, but you know, we have some really good burgers around here. Maybe it is gonna be burger. Okay, so Life and Hobbies video says it's Friday for us too. Yay! Please say hi to your wife. And Speaky Tech wrote chicken tendies. Maybe it is gonna be a chicken tendies night. You know, there are some days I just crave McDonald's, but maybe this will be the day I actually answer that craving. But it is 4:10. I appreciate everyone for staying, and I hope that people do appreciate the again, the bonus feature of this case, which is to make it into a NAS. And if you like this stream, give it a like. If you want to see more, obviously you can subscribe. And if you want to help out the channel in any way you can, obviously watching isn't enough. But if you want to do more, we do have a Patreon that's linked in the description, so you can donate or participate in that sense too. But for now, let's call this good. Again, thank you for watching. And we shall call it done. And then, hold on, there's a few more comments. So Spiggy Tech wrote, ask them for the hot chicken sauce on the side. Ooh. And Spiggy Tech wrote, they'll do it. John Bernard wrote, thank you, real fun. Yeah, it's fun. And I really appreciate, again, everyone who comes in here and chats and watches. I appreciate you like the most. So thank you. And yeah, so I'm going to enjoy my chicken tenders at McDonald's tonight. And hope everyone else enjoys their chicken tenders at home too. So take it easy, and I will say goodbye when I have my mouse right over the stop streaming. So it should be now. No, it's not. Okay, so it's now. So all right, take it easy.